Be honest. How many times have you scrolled Instagram on Valentine's Day and felt that tiny pressure inside your chest? Everyone posting roses, couples showing off gifts, hearts everywhere. And suddenly the question hits you. Wait. As a Muslim, am I even allowed to celebrate this? And here's the shocking part. Most Muslims either blindly follow it or blindly reject it, without actually knowing why. No context, no understanding. Just vibes and opinions. If you've ever felt confused about this topic, you're not alone. This question comes up every single year. And today, I'm not here to judge you. I'm here to give you clarity, real answers, no sugarcoating, no emotional manipulation. Because once you understand what Islam actually says about Valentine's Day, the history behind it, and the psychology behind why it feels so tempting, you'll never look at February 14th the same way again. So, stay with me, because the truth is much deeper than just haram or halal. Let's start with the real question everyone wants answered. Is Valentine's Day haram, halal, or somewhere in between? Now, most people want a one-word answer. But Islam doesn't work on shortcuts. Islam looks at three main things: where something comes from, what it represents, and what effect it has on your behavior. Valentine's Day is not just a random date on the calendar. It's a celebration that comes with a theme, symbols, customs, and meaning. Hearts, romantic couples, public displays of affection, dating culture, all of this is part of the package. In Islam, celebrations are not neutral. Eid is not just food, it represents worship. Friday is not just a day off, it represents gathering and remembrance. In the same way, Valentine's Day represents a specific concept of romance that comes from outside Islamic values. Now, some people say, but my intention is just love. And intention is important, but intention does not make everything permissible. For example, if someone prays with good intention but in the wrong way, it's still incorrect. Islam teaches us that both intention and action must be aligned with guidance. So when scholars discuss Valentine's Day, they don't ask, is love bad? Because love is beautiful in Islam. They ask, are Muslims supposed to adopt celebrations that are rooted in non-Islamic traditions and values? And this is where the foundation is set. The issue is not chocolate. The issue is identity. It's about whether Muslims should copy cultural religious practices that were never part of Islamic teachings. Think of it like this. Islam gives you your own calendar of sacred moments. 2 Eids, Jumu'ah every week, Ramadan nights. These are not empty rituals. They build spiritual discipline and community identity. When Muslims start replacing those with imported celebrations, slowly, without realizing it, priorities begin to shift. So before we even reach rulings, understand this. The Valentine's Day discussion is not about hating love. It's about protecting your values, your boundaries, and your identity as a Muslim. And now that we understand the core question, we need to talk about something even more important. Where Valentine's Day actually came from, and why that history matters. All right. Now let us talk about something most people completely ignore when this topic comes up. The origins of Valentine's Day. Because in Islam, where something comes from matters just as much as what it looks like today. Most people think Valentine's Day is just about love, roses, and chocolate. Clean, harmless, romantic. But that's the modern version. The reality is, Valentine's Day did not start as a cute couple's holiday. It has roots that go way deeper and way further back. Historically, many historians link Valentine's Day to an ancient Roman festival called Lupercalia. This was a pagan fertility festival celebrated in mid-February. It involved rituals, matchmaking by lottery, and practices that were completely opposite to Islamic values of modesty and discipline. Later on, as Christianity spread, the church tried to rebrand this festival by attaching it to a figure known as Saint Valentine. Over time, it slowly transformed into what we now call Valentine's Day. Now here's why this matters from an Islamic perspective. Islam doesn't just look at what something has become. It also looks at what it represents and where it originated. When a celebration is built on non-Islamic religious or pagan traditions, Muslims are advised not to adopt it, even if it's been commercialized and modernized. Think about it this way. Imagine taking a religious ritual from another faith, removing the religious label and turning it into a trend. Does removing the label suddenly make it Islamic? Of course not. The foundation is still the same. And this is where many people get confused. They say, "But I'm not worshipping anything. I'm just celebrating love." That's true. You're not worshipping. But participation still connects you to a tradition that was never meant for Muslims. Islam is very careful about preserving identity. It doesn't want Muslims slowly blending into every trend until faith becomes just another lifestyle aesthetic. There's also another layer most people don't talk about: commercialization. Today's Valentine's Day isn't just about love. It's about spending, buying gifts, competing with others, feeling pressured to perform romance publicly. Companies literally design marketing campaigns to trigger emotional insecurity so people spend more money. That's not accidental. That's strategy. So now you have two realities colliding. On one side, you have a celebration with non-Islamic historical roots. On the other side, you have a modern system that turns emotions into profit. Islam steps in and says, "Be careful what you attach your heart to." This doesn't mean Islam wants to make life boring. It means Islam wants to protect you from blindly copying traditions without understanding what you're actually participating in. And once you understand the origin, something becomes very clear. The real question is not, is love allowed? The real question becomes, does Islam want Muslims expressing love through imported holidays, or through its own values and framework? And that takes us to something powerful: the Islamic view of love and romance itself. Because once you understand how Islam defines love, Valentine's Day suddenly starts to look very small in comparison. Thanks for watching, and be sure to subscribe for our next video.